Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, never worked with scripted, never done anything. You put someone in a role, they shine, and everyone is surprised and kind of pissed that he did so well. He also said, you guys could have saved so much money by just using AI for all the background actors. Welcome to the Actor's Guide to the End of the World podcast, where we talk about acting in Hollywood and white people understand. I'm Ikon Song.
And I'm Rían. Kelly, how you doing?
What's up, buddy? Follow us wherever you find your podcasts at Actor's Guide Podcast. We have video on YouTube. We have video on Spotify now.
That's new.
Don't forget to follow us on all social media at Actors Guide Podcast for fun clips during the week. Leave a review, send to a friend if you enjoy the episode. Thanks for joining us this week, making us part of your day, however you're listening.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor.
Is craft services the only time you eat a decent meal?
Do you feel a little ashamed walking off set with fistfuls of brisket?
Meet Crafty Bag, the stylish and environmentally conscious way to steal food from set.
There are no limits with Crafty Bag. You can go from fig Newtons to filet mignon.
Now comes in green screen. Crafty Bag is not waterproof. Spillage may occur.
So the Oscar nominations just got dropped. Big news. It's so funny how it just random Wednesday morning, boom.
It came out very early. It was very early. In the morning, the time of day. I woke up and they were already all out and everybody was celebrating Jessie Buckley in Ireland.
Just first reactions.
Well, I looked at the best picture list and I've seen 3 of the 10, so I need to see some more.
Well,
I haven't seen One Battle After Another, which is another one I'd like to see.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. You got to see that. The best picture category is ginormous, and that's to make it more interesting, a little more fan friendly.
Because I was still under the assumption it was 5 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a lot of movies.
And I will add, more nominations means more money for them. So there is an incentive, like the actual awards, like they bring in more money because it means more films need to publicize and market the film. The first big story, Sinners breaks the record for total nominations. Previously held by La La Land, Titanic, All About Eve. That was a 3-way tie for 14 nominations. Sinners got 16. All the way back to when Sinners got released, they were saying, is this film getting enough love? A lot of people talked about Ryan Coogler's deal, that he will regain the rights to Sinners, I believe, I don't know, it might have been 20 years.
What does that mean, though? Does that mean that he, like getting the rights back, what does that mean from a practical standpoint?
So it's actually 25 years. In 25 years, the ownership will go back to him, meaning that when we talk about whether you're a musician or you're a filmmaker, the studio usually owns the rights forever. In 25 years, when you play that on syndication on cable, or you're going to sell streams and license it, just think about licensing alone to, say, Netflix. He will own all of that. It's huge. Yeah. And then also, let's talk about the sequels. Later on, when you have Sinners 2, Sinners 3, possibly. Let's just start with Best Picture.
Good place to start.
So, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams.
Sentimental Value is a Norwegian movie, right?
Yeah, Sentimental Value.
Yes. That has gotten 9 nominations, which is the most that a Norwegian movie has ever gotten, I believe. And it's also I think it's the first time that a Norwegian movie has been nominated for Best Picture. So that's what I know about that.
So I did see Sentimental Value.
What did you think of Sentimental Value?
I liked it. I'm a little surprised at how many nominations it got and how strong it is. Stellan Skarsgård got nominated for supporting actor. He won the Golden Globe, I believe. He really made a big splash. His film in 2021, The Worst Person in the World. I don't know if you saw that. You might have heard of it.
I did.
He did The Worst Person in the World.
Yeah, I heard of it. Yeah.
So, and that same actor who was the lead in Worst Person in the World is nominated for Best Actor in this film. Before we get to all the categories, Sinners got the top record. Broke the record for 16 total nominations. One Battle After Another, 13. Frankenstein 9, Marty Supreme 9, Sentimental Value 9, Hamnet 8. So this is a top-heavy race. A lot of strong contenders, and it's more exciting to watch where we're like, oh, are there going to be any surprises? Who's going to win? There's some really good categories, some really good races.
What are you rooting for? What's your pick out of that?
I want to save real projections when we do our Oscars betting episode, which was a real blast last year. I'm pushing for Sinners. I feel like Sinners is, without getting too heavy into this, with like as far as diversity, as far as storytelling, and also Oscars has been notoriously white. I do think I still look at Sinners as the underdog. It's kind of crazy. Sinners came out a long time ago. When films are in the Oscars race, they really like Marty Supreme. The PR campaign it was brilliant. It came out during Christmas. It's late in the year, specifically for Oscar season. So
yeah. I felt the strategic nature of that.
Exactly. And I mean, a lot of it is strategy. You know what I mean?
Sure, I agree. And like, even because I saw Sinners a long time ago, so it feels a long time ago. So it isn't, it is an achievement to be in the running. You've made me feel bad now about my choice that I'm rooting for, because I feel like, which is Hamnet.
Yeah. No,
but that's
I mean, there's no guilt.
Hamnet.
Anyway, well, here's the thing. Hamnet is a small film. If anything, Hamnet's probably a bigger underdog.
From a purely selfish, biased point of view, and Irish actors and everything else, and I just,
We'll get into Hamnet because I saw that this week.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. On that note, we were talking about how many films are in the Best Picture race, and it's an indication of what does the Oscars value right now. You have some big box office movies. Sinners did really well. Movies like F1 years ago. People would not think that was an Oscar-type movie. Then you also have Sentimental Value, Hamnet, and you're seeing how international this Oscars race has become. And then you add in Stellan Skarsgård as a favorite for Best Supporting Actor. You also have Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent, which is rare that Best Foreign Film is in the Best Picture race. Performance by an actor in a leading role. Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. Have not seen that yet. Michael B. Jordan, Wagner Moura. So that's a great category. None of this splitting it up between musical comedy and drama. That's a stacked category. I got to see. What, you heard my judgment? My judgment in there.
I could hear your thoughts out loud there.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, splitting up bullshit.
FYI for SAG actors, Blue Moon is one of the screeners, digital screeners. So we all have access to see that. I want to see that.
I forget that I always forget that they're available, and I never think to check them.
Yeah, well, it's good to go to the theater if you can, obviously. Performance by an actor in a supporting role: Benicio del Toro, Jacob Elordi, Delroy Lindo, Sean Penn, Stellan Skarsgård. So that's a stacked category as well. Stellan Skarsgård, Delroy Lindo. It's nice to see him in that category.
I saw Stellan Skarsgård, this is just an aside, but I saw him talking about he had a stroke or something, and he said it's almost impossible for him to remember lines since then. So he finds it much harder to work now.
Wow. Performance by an actress in a leading role: Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Kate Hudson, Renate Reinsve, and Emma Stone for Begonia.
Jessie Buckley for me, hands down.
Yeah.
Without having seen all of the other.
Well, I mean, she's definitely going to be a favorite going into this category. Performance by an actress in a supporting role: Elle Fanning, Sentimental Value; Inga Lilias, Sentimental Value. Wow, that's great that she got nominated. I actually just saw that now. Amy Madigan, Weapons; Wunmi Mosaku, Sinners; Teyana Taylor, One Battle After Another.
Wait, who is Amy Madigan in Weapons?
Oh, well, you watched it, right?
I did.
Yeah, she was the lead antagonist.
Bad guy.
I don't want to say any spoilers here, but we'll chat about Weapons. I happen to see that as well. Amy Madigan is like, how can you mistake her? But there's only one character in that film that you're like, wow.
She was really creepy in that.
And achievement in directing, Chloe Zhao, Josh Safdie. Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier, Sentimental Value, Ryan Coogler Sinners. So that's a stacked category. Notice no Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein, but that's a pretty tight category that I believe, if you want to put it one way, it's Sentimental Value over Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein. So that some people might feel like he got it left out, but also Guillermo del Toro did pretty well with Shape of Water last time. So, who's to say with these things?
Did you see Shape of Water?
Yeah, I did. Back in the day?
Was that the falling in love with the fish guy?
Yeah. Falling in love with the fish movie?
Didn't interest me enough to watch. I think it was the falling in love with the fish thing where I was like, do you know what? Not for me.
In a way, I see similarities between that and Frankenstein. And I'm very, very glad that I saw Shape of Water, even though it's not necessarily the thing I would gravitate to. But I'm also glad I saw Frankenstein, and I see similarities in their stories and themes. So, I mean, don't knock it until you try it. I don't know what to say, but
I'd love to. Okay, let's talk about Hamnet and weapons for a second. That's because I want to hear what your thoughts are. Okay. Let's start with weapons.
Hamnet I saw this week. Weapons I also saw. Song Sung Blue. I was really getting out of my comfort zone with weapons.
You're not a horror fan, right?
Like, I only see horror films when I'm with friends and with a lot of people. This is how rarely I'm going all the way over to Beverly Hills.
All the way over to Beverly Hills.
And let me tell you, it's a trek. I'm the only car on this parking lot. And I'm like, oh God, I'm just already speculating. I'm going to be the only one in this theater and I'm going to freak the F out. I didn't realize there's kids involved.
You didn't know from the cover of the movie that there was kids involved?
Absolutely not. I didn't even know it was a horror film. Kids already freak me out. Yeah, and I don't think I'm alone, because if you go through a lot of horror films, you notice that a lot of freaky kids in these horror films, like The Orphan.
Do you know what freaked me out? I think right off the bat and probably stuck with me, the fucking arms out. It happens right at the beginning. It's not a spoiler. Yeah. That was such a brilliant psychological trick.
I mean, if anything, this might entice you to watch the movie if you're listening.
But if you hate kids like he can, don't watch it.
Yeah, a lot of kids.
Yeah, it freaked me out. And I will say that I'm not coming at this as a horror aficionado. I don't love horror movies either, because I find it very hard to get images out of my head. When there's something that I see that's, disturbing on screen, it stays in my head forever.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you watched it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember Rían watched Weapons. Let me go check it out. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, so that was Weapons. Let's talk about Hamnet. I have to say, I have to watch it a second time. There's part of me that was hoping for a little more Shakespearean love.
Yeah.
I was a little tired. I need to watch it again. And it's just a lot of pregnancy. Painful birth. I'm not a psychopath. It's like I'm okay with kids. I mean, this is not a spoiler, but vigorous, painful pregnancy.
I'm not a fan of pregnancy.
Just the images.
Interesting. But did you like it?
I liked it. I need to watch it a second time and appreciate it more. Yeah, tell me what your takeaways are.
It's funny you should mention that, actually, because I saw it in the cinema and it was packed as well. It was jammed. There was a woman beside me, and this did impact my enjoyment, and I loved it. There was a woman beside me in the seat, full theater, was either clicking her jaw most of the movie and then had a cold and was sniffing into her nose every, I would say, 8 seconds. Obviously, had a run, her nose was running and didn't have a tissue, but also brought her own wine and was drinking, with opening her backpack and drinking her own wine in the theater.
Wow.
And, she impacted my enjoyment of it quite a bit. However, I thought Jessie Buckley's performance was incredible. I thought she was I believed every word that came out of her mouth. And I think Paul Mescal is an excellent actor, but she's clearly the star of the show here. I actually thought the kids were great too. I thought the kids in the movie were excellent. The kid who plays her son, Hamnet, was phenomenal. And for those who don't know, it's from a book by an Irish author called Maggie O'Farrell. It's a fictional account. I think a lot of it's...
retelling of how Shakespeare kind of...
Yeah, is sort of fictional and like a novel rather than... like it is based on some fact. I really appreciated the performances in that. And I don't know how much stock you put in Oscars or I don't think it's always necessarily the best of the best wins the Oscars, because I know there's more goes into it than that. But I think her performance is absolutely, worthy of a win there.
So speaking of me expanding out of my boundaries, Kate Hudson got nominated for Best Actress. A true life story about a singing duo who's the cover band of Neil Diamond songs.
I saw a baby that looked like Neil Diamond one time.
I know that you have a long history with Neil Diamond.
Not just that one baby.
You guys know my music tastes are fairly limited. This is so not a film that I would have an understanding of. Neil Diamond, I mean, Paul Simon, Neil Diamond, I don't even know who.
Oh my God.
I don't even know who they are. But
oh, good Lord.
This is me expanding out of my boundaries. I love Kate Hudson, by the way. I thought she did a great job. But there you go. I was trying to remember. It was Weapons, Hamnet, and Song Sung Blue.
You'll always be my rhinestone cowboy.
Oh, I don't know. Is that a musical reference?
It sure is. It's not even a good musical reference.
I thought Kate Hudson was really good. It was a dramatic role, too.
What? Just while we're on the topic of awards, the IFTA nominations also came out. That's the Irish Film and Television Awards.
Oh,
which
nice.
is like the Irish version of the Oscars, I guess. And I just wanted to give it a shout out to friend of the show, Emma Gunnery, who got nominated for an award for casting this year for The Rainmaker. So, shout out to Emma.
Wow.
So Emma
There
is
you
nominated
go.
again in the casting category. So
That's
there you go.
cool.
It's great to see. It's great to see that there is a casting category now. I like that.
That's awesome. Well, congrats to Emma.
Yeah. So a friend of mine, who I think you know, also brought up something about Marty Supreme, that they were vehemently opposed to using a non-actor in such a big role, and particularly a person that,
For what role?
Kevin O'Leary for Marty Supreme, for his for the bad guy.
Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank plays a supporting role as Gwyneth Paltrow's husband. 1950s, he's a powerful, rich millionaire, billionaire, what have you. I saw Kevin O'Leary talk about his experience being asked to be in the movie. Never worked with scripted, never done anything. This is what I would say. He basically said, they're looking for an asshole. And Kevin O'Leary's like, I know how to do that.
I think that's what annoyed my friend. Yeah.
So interesting. So let's just talk about stunt casting a little bit. I don't give a rip one way or the other. And it's a perfect example of good script, good director. The film and the work speaks for itself. He's a billionaire on Shark Tank. He plays that role and he plays it really well. My point is you put someone in a role, they shine, and everyone is surprised and kind of pissed that he did so well. I will also throw that out there. Look at Sinners. Miles Caton from Sinners. Okay. Did you know he's never acted before?
No.
He's a singer. Miles Caton is 20 years old, never acted before. Start training to play the guitar for 2 months before the film. I thought his performance was incredible. I was shocked that it was his first time acting. At what point do we get enraged that someone with no acting experience could do a phenomenal job with good scripting and good acting? Is it because Kevin O'Leary's an asshole? If it's because Kevin O'Leary's an asshole, I can understand.
Well, that was part of it.
We've been dealing with stunt casting for eons. And
I think for this person, the combination of Kevin O'Leary being an asshole and also not an actor, I think was what.
Yeah.
That was the perfect storm for him of just like he was furious with it. But
I'll add on to it. He also said, hey, I don't know if you guys know how much money you could have saved by just AIing all the background actors. No, we don't need that kind of PR for Marty Supreme. Please don't talk.
I think you're right. I think ultimately it goes back to the idea that this business is not A, fair, B, a meritocracy. So these are the things that like, and from a personal standpoint, the more I can let go of the ideas that it ever will be those things or that it should be those things, the easier time I have with it, because I don't then meet the resistance of, well, it should be this way. Or it
100%.
should be. There's no fair, and it's,
I mean, also, part of this conversation is as actors, we're there to serve their story. Do you look the part? Do you fit the part? Can you do the part? Whoever is directing. They ponied up the money, and ultimately they get to do whatever they want. The fact that you can take someone who's a non-actor, and I'm not saying that anyone can do it, but you can take a non-actor who isn't going to freeze up on camera, turn the camera on, and with good scripting and good direction, you can make him look great.
You know, you can, absolutely. I guess with that particular one, just to use that as an example, I don't really understand why. Is it a publicity thing? Or is it like, could you not find an actor who could do that job? Like, I don't understand.
I think it is. First of all, he's a supporting role. It was surprisingly bigger than people expected. But that being said, Safdie runs a pretty loose set, a lot of improv, and, it's all going to be in the edit. And Safdie's kind of a genius. I think when you say, hey, a Shark Tank millionaire is going to play a 1950s millionaire, I think people want to see how it plays. And he looks the part. I think it's a perfectly normal, reasonable stunt casting. I think it's actually, it actually didn't shock me at all.
It's just an interesting thing to talk about.
It's funny because I was actually going to bring this up anyway. I don't look at Nepo babies any differently.
Even in the same movie, Odessa A'zion is Pamela Adlon's daughter. So there's another.
I wasn't going to say that, but it was interesting because I actually happened to do a video about Odessa A'zion. It was just so captivating because there was a frenzy on the internet, and obviously she's very fun, charismatic. So she's also in I Love LA as one of the leads and kind of having her moment. The internet was abuzz saying, "Where did she come from? She didn't exist last week." And then, of course, us in the industry were like, "Well." I mean, it's not a shock that she's
the daughter
really
of the brilliant
exactly.
Pamela Adlon. Yeah.
So she's the daughter of the brilliant Pamela Adlon, and obviously we're Pamela Adlon friendly because she's also Leslie connected. And
she also produced a short film I did.
Nice. It was basically, hey, everyone thinks that you get famous overnight, but becoming famous overnight, it takes 20 years. And if you're lucky, it takes 10 years because it took Odessa A'zion essentially 10 years. Okay, so that's kind of like what the point of my short is, and I actually wasn't gonna bring her name up, but you kind of brought it up, so I was like, yeah, we can talk about it. A lot of people were like, well, she's a Nepo baby, it kind of bothers me about this Nepo baby stuff, right? Yeah. And so my point is whoa, that kind of wasn't the point of the conversation. Yet it's funny how everyone's so gravitating towards it. It's really easy to look at stunt casting, whether they earned it or not. It's really easy to look at, hey, this person, it could be Jacob Elordi. Hey, do you know how tall he is? He's actually really cute, Australian, and 6'5". He's not 6'2", he's 6'5". There's so many reasons why you can hate these people. And the point is, did they do a good job? If it's even Kevin O'Leary not getting in his own way and taking great direction from Josh Safdie, and that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, and I have a slightly different take on it. But I think I will say, if you're a non-actor and you have an opinion on Nepo babies and whatever, that's great. You get to have an opinion on all of this stuff. Of course you do. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You can watch something with somebody in it, choose to not watch something. It doesn't carry the same. The stakes aren't as high. If you are an actor, you can find examples of unfairness in every aspect of this industry, whether it's Nepo babies, whether it's physical characteristics. If someone is just naturally good looking and tall and whatever, it's a business of moving pictures, as we're often reminded, and that is a part of it too. People need to want to look at you on screen. You could look at the unfairness of people who have the means to continue this career, people who come from wealth, people who go to the most prestigious colleges. Yeah. That's another level of what you could deem unfairness. But I think ultimately for me, and I'm only speaking for myself, if I am looking at those things, I'm offering an excuse to myself as to why I'm not there. And I think that's a very dangerous place for me to be, because it's a place that lives in sort of resentment and, going, well, that's why they're where they are. And it takes the power away from me. And the only power that I have is what I can control. And what I can control is, how much work I put into this, how much better I get at this, how I choose to view this industry that is not a fair industry or, as we discussed, a meritocracy at all. but I love it. So if the most conducive way for me to apply myself to that is to work on only what I can control and forget all that stuff. They can go, okay, sure, that's unfair. But focus on what you're doing. How much enjoyment are you getting out of what you're doing? Like, how are you expanding creatively? How are you, practicing your craft? How are you, like, what is your experience of this? Forget about that shit. You know what I mean? That's something you can't control. So,
all right, that's fair. That's fair.
Hidden gems.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll fire away. So my hidden gem, I wish I had an example of it, but I keep eating them every time I get them. A superfood seed bar that I just eat loads of, and I've never talked about this before, but I love them. They're called Elemental. I think they might be local ones. They might be California ones. Elemental superfood. But they're these like seed bars. They're just superfood seed and nut bars. They're gluten-free, plant-based, dairy-free, blah, 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 blah. But they're so tasty. I'll send you the website. But they're excellent. I buy them at Whole Foods usually. And Elemental seed bars, superfood seed bars, if you can get hold of them.
I have a food one as well. Tsujita is one of the top ramen restaurants in LA. And, if you're in LA, you know that they have this, they kind of took over Sawtelle. They were all the rage. Line out the door. It's very busy. So my hidden gem is I didn't realize they actually have a location in Arts District. Arts District, just a little south of Little Tokyo. Really cool. You just go out there, a quiet location, easy to get a table. Anyway, it's one of my favorite ramen places. You get it's not just hot ramen. They actually have cold ramen. You have cold noodles, and you dip it in the broth. So it's tsukemen. So it's kind of a special Japanese cold ramen. Go check it out.
Nice.
Tsujita in Arts District. Pleasant surprise.
All right.
They got one over there. Anyway, that's our episode, everyone. Enjoy and have a great week.
See you next week.